Hey everyone, this is Lucid. Welcome back. I'm going to be doing a quick blitz. I have a little lull in my channel because for Dominions 5 stuff, I can't put some of my videos I'm working on out yet because the games are still not quite far along enough. So they started a couple months ago, but I think, yeah, I probably won't be able to put them up for another month or two. So I'm making this very quick duel with The Last Pretender, and we're going to be just doing a 1v1, and I'm going to be playing the nation MA-Machaka, and they kind of suck. There's no two ways around that. He's playing man, so anyway, it'll be fun. I think I have a fair amount more experience than him, so I don't mind taking a shitty nation, but it's still totally possible I lose, because this nation does really suck. There are, however, some things that, so for Pretender design, I kind of came up with a bunch of test things. This one actually is pretty damn good. And I might do something like this. So it's essentially a blitz, it's a duel, it's a 1v1. So any early game advantage you get is not going to be mitigated by diplomacy, because it's just you versus them. So going for a strong Pretender with a strong Bless is not a bad idea. This guy can solo armies once I put gear on him. And he can have some of the important gear. He can't have chest, but that's okay. He can have a shield, which is really important. And then miss slots and a helmet. The helmet's less important. But yeah, he can do some cool stuff. And then the awe and then the fire and shock resistance is really good. It's a little expensive, and anyway, this is the Pretender I'm going to go with. I don't think it's optimal. It's definitely not optimal, I don't think, for a multiplayer game. Well, like a big one. Let's take a look real quick at the actual troops for MA-Machaka. Well, let's take a look at Man. So Man has really good archers, and then they have air and nature, so we can expect things like mass protection and stuff like that. Fortunately, I have fire magic, so I can do fire elementals if you didn't take any precautions about that. So that will be a target for me, but not the first target, I don't think. I think my first target, he doesn't have fire access, and therefore it is going to be rather safe for me to try to rush mass protection or wooden warriors. MA-Machaka is a nation of spiders. They get, it's kind of the default African-themed troops, or African tribal-themed troops. Here are the troops. So they have this guy who's kind of cool. It's a short bow that only costs 5 gold, and you don't really care about the chassis when you're paying for a short bow. So, not bad. You have another short bow guy, and then you have this guy who's a spider archer, but you can, you can get him everywhere. He has a poison bow, which will also do poison damage. So, if Man has a lot of heavily armored troops, and especially once I get... Actually, I don't know how this interacts with flaming arrows, but anyway, this will be okay. They get spider warriors who are kind of cool. They actually have really good armor. They have... it's a kind of cool looking sprite, too. Yeah, they have 19 protection with 2 weapons, and they're stealthy. Like, this unit's pretty freaking cool. If I were in a big multiplayer game, I might do a strategy that centers around using these guys as raiders. And I probably will use them as raiders in this game. They have this guy who's pretty damn good. He's a formation fighter with size 2, which means you can fit 1 more unit in a square. So I think this means since you would normally fit 3, you can fit 4. I haven't really used formation fighter in Dom 5. It's different than it was in Dom 4. But yeah, so this guy's pretty good. Length 4 dude with all this armor and a shield, which basically all that means is he's going to do a really good job holding the line. But not as great of a job, though an okay job at dishing out damage just because of having a kind of low damage spear. But having 4 in a square, he'll dish okay damage out. You then have these spider guys. All the spider dudes can spit a web and they have a second form. I think for these, and I could be wrong, I haven't tested this nation very much and I've never played them really before. And we'll find out. I think for these guys, if they get dismounted, I think the spider sticks around, but then I think the unit's dead after the battle. Not totally sure. These guys spit webs. Yeah, they both do. And then, anyway, same deal. This guy just has better armor. And actually, yeah, not that bad, right? If you compare to Heavy Cav, kind of better. And Heavy Cav is often more expensive than this, so you could totally build... I like the idea of maybe taking these guys as scales. The problem is your mages aren't that great. But yeah, they're not bad. We'll talk about them in a second. And then finally you have the Black Hunter, who's kind of a badass, but pretty expensive. I'm going to be using them a fair amount. Just because I'm only fighting one person, so I can customize the bless to who I'm fighting. They do have a little bit of encumbrance issues, but it's not as bad as other Heavy Cav. Not a ton of HP, very, very good protection with a shield. Decent stat line, and then they have spider fangs, they have a web, and then they have a spear and a lance, so they're going to be doing 2 attacks a turn, spider fangs and spear. And then they're going to get a lance charge, and they're also going to get a web. So this is good if you're doing like a Heavy Cav duel. Like if your Heavy Cav run into theirs, which could totally happen versus man. It's going to be good. The other thing is they're sacred, so I get to put a bless on them. And in this case, I think I'm going to do an awe and fire and shock. The fire is so that I can do things like fire elementals and not worry, or shoot my own flaming arrows and not worry. Yeah, for your troops, you get this chick who's kind of cool. She's not an expensive researcher, and she summons spiders, which are kind of chaff-like, but I think they can spit a web, so that's not horrible. You get these guys. They can turn into a great hunter spider when they get wounded, so they have the change shape ability. They also are your, I think, best fire access. Is that right? Yeah, they're your best fire access, and they're good earth access. You can get a fire 3 or an earth 3, or you can get a death 2. So you're not going to be doing skelly spam with this nation as well as you can with like MA-Machaka, where you have the Buddhas. But these guys, like you can imagine, if I think I'm gonna rush alteration, so not only will I have the option for mass protection for big fights, but I can put marble warriors on my spiders before they run in, and that's just gonna, like, they'll be impossible to kill. Yeah. But my scales are gonna be shitty with taking a bless, so anyway, that's why I have an awake research pretender, because all she's gonna do is just sit around and freaking research. Then you get this guy who's your nature mage. This will be the guy who puts up mass protection. The nature randoms can totally do that. Not sure what to do with the fire death crosspath. You can also summon fire ants and stuff with the nature fire crosspath. Not sure if I'm going to be doing that. I need to sync for my fire gem, so I might take a little detour in conjuration just to get fire ants. But then these guys can do it too. I haven't figured out what you would use these for. The only thing that can come to mind is if you twice born them, then this actually is a pretty good set of paths for a mage, or like for an undead mage. If you gear them, maybe? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to put a helmet. Yeah, no, it's not a good idea. I don't know. Phoenix Pyre and then Soul Vortex is a really good combination if you can gear it right, even on like a white mage who's not a super great chassis, but it's okay. Yeah, and basically this is a Nature 2 mage. I mean, the Death 2 ones you can Skelly spam, so that's not bad. Fire 2, you can use them as combat casters. If you get Earth, I don't think there's anything particularly useful about that. I mean, Fire Earth is a nice cross path, so it's good to have 1 or 2, but I think you get that on her, yeah. So, you also get these guys who are assassins, and they can lead these dudes around, which is kind of cool. So, having a few forts up, making those would be fun. I think I like these 2 units a lot. I haven't really done a strategy around them. For initial expansion, we will be using mostly these guys. You can make these, but they tend to die pretty quickly. These guys will stick around, but you can't make enough of them, especially when you take shitty scales, because you have a bless for these guys. I'm sure there is a more optimal way to expand with less gold per expansion party than using Black Hunters, where you're still expanding efficiently. I haven't really figured it out yet, because I haven't tested the nation that much. But I think it's possible. Anything else? You've got an 80 leadership dude. Oh, your priests. So you've got a stealthy priest, which is always kind of fun. A stealthy priest spy, kind of cool. This one has no leadership, so he cannot. I made this mistake in a test game. He can't lead your spideys around to bless them. This guy, he's a tax collector, which is kind of cool, which means you can... What this really means is you can do raiding real well with him, because even if you get cut off, like, people are following in your tracks, you're still going to be getting money for the provinces you're raiding, so that's kind of cool. And he can lead your spiders around. This guy you would really want to lead your spiders around, but unfortunately he's not Holy One. So you're stuck with these guys leading your spiders, basically. These guys can lead your spiders too, they're not tax collector, they're Holy too. Yeah. Your army will kind of potentially, like your big army may use these, but it's not going to be the centerpiece, right? You're going to have to fill it out with all this stuff. Like, you don't have Holy 3, so even if you had a lot of spiders, you can't really bless them easily. So your spiders are basically really big raiders and then kind of tactical units in combat. They're not like the centerpiece exactly. So anyway, we're gonna roll the dice, we're gonna see what happens. Should be a fun round. Hopefully after playing this I will know much more. So if you want to know more about the nation, listen to the last episode, because I will probably have a lot more better, more intelligent things to say about it in the after action review. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the first episode. Oh, actually, one more thing, sorry. I'm just gonna flash up my Pretender design again real quick. So this is the one I'm gonna use. Not this one. Where's this guy? That's not him either. Oh, shit. So Berserker I was thinking about doing, but you can't do it because it doesn't work on mounted units for some reason. Maybe this is the guy I was gonna use. Yeah, this is my Awake Researcher. Stygian Flesh. So that's going to give them 15 protection versus mundane, which will be really good against archers and against heavy cav, because it's going to give them really high protection. And then reinvigoration, the survival so they can move quickly, and then an attack buff because their attack's not great, and heavy cav have high defense, and man has really good heavy cav. Shock resistance. Oh wait, shit! I thought I was going to get fire resistance on these guys. Did I, like... I was thinking about that, maybe? No. Okay, 1 second. We're gonna actually go build them. So, lucky you guys, you get to watch me build this Pretender, because I'm not really happy with the one I have. Let's check out this. I actually think that one that I had made for Hinnom actually would not be bad here. So... I know they have this Pretender, so... This one... The kind of value, Fire and Shock, is pretty sweet. Would like to get Reinvigoration on them, but you have Nature, so you can put Relief up later, but... Don't know. And then Awe, pretty good. Yeah, so this is neutral scales, and then I'm gonna go up to 5, and then you could almost go 4 with this because you have really shitty scales. You don't really want to spread them. And then we'll take, well, 5. You might as well take 5. Yeah, okay. I don't, Do I want this guy awake? Yeah, I'm gonna have kind of shitty expansion. I want to clear my cap circle quick. You totally could take him dormant, but in a blitz, better to take him awake, because your early game advantage is going to translate directly into mid game. So we're gonna take a kind of essentially free heat scale. We're gonna take turmoil, productivity, because we need resources to make our cool units. Hopefully we're gonna be in mostly man's dominion, so we'll take misfortune. Yeah. Turmoil Misfortune's always a little scary. Maybe 1 luck? 1 death? 1 death isn't actually that bad. Because death is the kind of thing, it's like exponential how much it grows, like, yeah, but... Well, maybe not, maybe we'll avoid that. Can we avoid that? We need Fire and Shock. Yeah. Okay, I think this is our build. Yeah. What should we name him? Body of Scorpion. Balls of Man. Okay. So that is our pretender. I'll just talk real quick about the other things I was thinking. This guy is a kind of cool pretender option you get. It's unique to, I think, the African nations, but the Colossal Fetish, he can actually move on the strategic map, but he can't really seem to move in combat, so he'll just stand there and then people run at him and he'll cast spells at them because he's an innate caster. I think that may be a bug. Like, I feel like he probably should be able to move in combat, but for the life of me, I can't get him to move. Anyway, he's still a pretty good expander and he's pretty damn cheap. Yeah. So, oh, this is the one I was thinking about taking down. Oh, you remember? I was gonna do, okay. So here's the guy I built, but now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I kind of do, well, man's not gonna have fire access, so I don't really need fire protection, actually. That was my thinking, actually. So actually I might actually use, sorry you're having to like hear me wish-wash around, but this is kind of into the mind of a Dominions player. You like build something and then you're like, well, maybe it's not the best. So actually I think I had done this and then I had made it with fire resistance and then I switched it back to shock only because man's not gonna have fire. And if they have fire, which they might take on their pretender, then whatever. I'll figure out a way around it because it's not gonna be a lot of fire and I'm gonna have a lot of fire. I will have my own fire arrows to kind of worry about, so that will kind of suck. But I think I got it. So major shock resistance, pretty sweet. Defense skill, kind of nice on Spideys. And then, yeah, reinvigoration, kind of cool. This will like significantly extend their life. Stygian Flesh, yeah, actually this may be better. This is probably better, yeah. The thing with Awe is it's better on defense-based troops, but protection-based troops it's not going to do as much. It'll still do something, but I think I like Stygian Flesh. Yeah. And I think I've tried this out. I think this will work. Yeah, I went with 4 Dominion. I took Production, Productivity, Turmoil. I took Growth in this case. May not be the best idea. Might be better to swap Magic, but I don't know. Growth, this gives me some positive income. And then I get 39 research a turn, but if we compare it to the guy I just built, thinking of like early expanding, 29, Would be nice to clear my cap circle. Would be nice. Should I do it? I think this might be better. This will get my cap circle cleared. It'll be a totally different thing that if he has a big army, this guy might be able to solo it. Yeah, I might do this. Yeah. The one problem, so the thing if we look at this Stygian Flesh is going to become irrelevant when I get Mass Protection, or Wooden Warriors, or Stone Warriors, or whatever it is, Marble Warriors. Because it will overwrite the natural protection. So it's kind of cool. It'll be good early game and help with expansion, but I think I need to get my cap circle cleared faster, and then I'm going to sit this guy to research. So it'll be a little slower research, but not that much. And yeah, he'll help me get, like maybe he just does my cap circle, and then he goes and sits in home. But yeah, this dude's, he's got fear too, and with fear plus huge protection, he doesn't have a ton of hit points, so you have to be a little careful. I may not blind expand with him, because like if he hits heavy cav, they can get through 57 HP, pretty damn good. Though all will stop a lot of it, but you could get unlucky. So we'll see. He'll probably research the first turn and then start expanding turn 2 when I know what I'm attacking. So anyway, I think, yeah, both of them are kind of viable since they're awake for a duel. But I would do something different for a multiplayer. Anyway, see you guys in the first episode, and thanks for watching.